The painful part about it is that you choose the thing that is the most painful and the hardest. And it's not only the hardest thing to do, but it's the hardest thing to maintain. Was living this life almost like at a bare minimum, where everything that was prioritized was surviving and everything that was deprioritized was myself. I would love to spend my last holiday on this planet, whenever that last holiday is, and however many I have left. This is how I want to spend them. And this is how I deserve to spend them, by the way. I want to spend them in peace, healthy, being treated with respect, civility, kindness, and compassion. Imagine having to cut off someone you love and who you always thought would be in your life. Realizing that this entire time they have been hurting you and with no signs of remorse. They have taken every opportunity to not only abuse you, but also use you for their own gain. And then imagine that distancing yourself from that person is shamed by other people who call your decision to protect yourself a trend. Today, I want to talk about estrangement. What may seem like a hashtag these days, not only has it been around for a long time, it is a way of protection against abuse. As I hit my third year in my most difficult estrangement journey to date, I want to talk about what it has been like making this decision, how my life has been impacted, and my thoughts on how estrangement can help survivors of abuse. Hello, trauma brains. For those that are new, hi, I'm Raysa, a survivor who lives with complex PTSD. And I created this podcast because I know how confusing and isolating healing can feel. Welcome to Hello, Trauma Brain. Here we talk about the ups and downs of healing complex trauma, boundaries, coming to terms with the fact that people I love were abusing me, and what it looks like to heal one slow and tiny step at a time. If you are living with C-PTSD or supporting someone who is, this podcast is for you. Welcome, new and returning Trauma Brains. I am so glad you're here. Before we get into the episode, a quick reminder. I am not a therapist or mental health professional. Everything shared here is based on my personal experience, and this podcast is not meant to replace therapy or medical support. If you think you may be living with C-PTSD or any other mental health condition mentioned here, please reach out to a licensed professional who can support you. Any people, services, or resources mentioned in this episode are not sponsors of Hello Trauma Brain. Also, this episode may mention trauma or topics that could feel activating. If at any point you need to pause, take a break, or skip the episode completely, please do what is best for you. All right, let's get into the show. The check-in is that this is my first full-length video episode. For those of you that are new, the video episodes are a new thing. I've only done video episodes when there have been guests in the past, but yeah, this whole solo video episode is a new thing for me. And yeah, I am basically kicking it off with a really hard episode, one that feels very vulnerable to me. And I didn't plan it that way. It just happened to be that way. And today, as I was getting ready for this episode, I started taking things off the list in this effort to find out or to find a way of doing this in a way that was gentle and kind for me. And as recording this episode approached, a lot of feelings started getting stirred up. And I started to realize that I wanted to make this as easy as possible. And as I was reflecting on that, I realized that putting makeup on and dressing in a fancier way and having a fancier background was just not needed. And I decided to come on here cozy, no makeup on, sweater on. I still got my pajamas, just showing up as I am, because I feel like today I'm going to need a little bit more extra care and compassion and easiness overall. So I'm going to listen to that and try to accommodate it as best as I can. So about the sweater that I'm wearing, this is actually one of my favorite holiday albums. It's by Andrew Bird. It's called HARK. You cannot see the whole thing, but this basically this is the cover of the album, which Andrew's mom drew and even like taking that in. And I'm talking about a son and a mother that are collaborating together. Feels a little bit triggering for me. And yeah, it's actually a really nice indie folk slash jazzy album. And I haven't heard it yet this season, but I'm going to. It's usually how I kick it off. And yeah, it's a nice album that has some like dark tones to it, and it's a really nice listen. And this guy is incredibly talented. If you haven't heard of Andrew, he's a singer-songwriter who's a multi-instrumentalist, and whistling is one of the instruments. And let me tell you, it doesn't let you down every time. I've seen him live. Is yeah, holds up extremely well. He's excellent live, and yeah, I've been a fan for a few years now. And this was one of the holiday albums he released. And yeah, I'm cozying up to HARK, and I guess I should get going and just start this thing because feels almost like a band-aid that I'm gonna have to rip it off or I will never get started. I will add that part of the no makeup thing was also realizing that the chances of me giving you the waterworks today are pretty high, and this would be the first time I'm doing the waterworks on camera. So not that I'm planning to or I want to end up balling here, but I just, when you have that feeling that it's probably going to happen, it's there. It's definitely there. So, just much like my estrangement journey happened to me, this episode being the first one I do as a full video episode kind of happened to me too. And yeah, it's wild how it is. I feel like if I would have planned it this way, it would have not really happened like this, but that's life for you. I have one more thing to add, which is I want to celebrate for a moment that I hit my first 1,000 followers on Instagram. I know I did it. I promised that I would give the 1,000th follower the chance to ask me a question. And I think the first time it was a bot. So I sent a message to, I guess, the bot. And then Instagram later told me that this might be a bot. But I was like, well, I already sent it. So if they respond, we'll see what happens. And then the second time I hit and I sent a message to that person too. And actually, I didn't get a question, which is completely fine. I feel like I have plenty to talk about this week anyway. But yeah, let's just take a moment to say, firstly, thank you for following, supporting the podcast, sharing it, and doing all the things. Because without that, the podcast would have no listeners, no followers, and no audience. Also, I want to celebrate myself because it's this is episode 75. Wild, third year podcasting. Super wild. And yeah, I want to give myself some credit for the work that I have been doing and showing up here consistently and creating content and yeah, doing all the things. It's yeah, I'm proud of myself. I feel proud of myself. So today I'm doing the third annual episode on the whole estrangement, no contact thing. This is not a new thing on this podcast. There are two more episodes just like this one. And this will be my reminder to myself to put links in the show notes for those episodes if you're interested in checking them out. I have a bunch of estrangement periods in my life and different people. And I guess the one that really hit the most for me, that one is the one that is like the 3-year mark at this point. And this year, and this is Thanksgiving weekend when this happened. This year, the Healing and C-PTSD community, who happens to be the foundation and the community behind the magazine where I published my first article, did something really cool, which was create an awareness day because we had no awareness day. And I don't know if this happens to you. I feel like it happens to me constantly. And it's been, historically speaking, the pattern that has had me so stuck and waiting for the shoe to drop and expecting the shoe to drop and just being like, of course the shoe dropped, right? So here I am. No contact period is coming up for me. This estrangement day comes in almost like a gift. Like, oh, okay, like now there's even a day of awareness. And you kind of get that hope of like, okay, there's going to be more awareness, more understanding because this thing is so taboo, so misunderstood and shamed. Like, finally, something for us. And you almost feel like that win is there and it's like nice to have it. And here comes like clockwork around the same time, some big content that gets a lot of attention. And this content almost feels like a punch in the gut. And it's almost like a reminder of like, "Ha, you think you're going to get some understanding now and some compassion? Yeah, think again. We're going to kick you right back into the hole. All of you. Off you go." And that's what it felt like. I have not listened to the Oprah podcast. I saw like the premise clip that went out before it got released, and it was inside of a reaction video that I was seeing. I have not read the article that Mel Robbins published either. Honestly, there's, that feeling you get when you know something is just not good for you. And you know it, and you haven't read it, you haven't seen it, you haven't exposed yourself to it, but you just know deep down, like there's this part of you that goes, if I expose myself to this, it's going to be so harmful and painful. And I have that feeling, and I have not done it. Will I later? Maybe I'll get some popcorn a few months from now and check it out then. Maybe. And honestly, do I have to? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I know what's there. And I know at this point, given what I have seen other people say about it, that it's just not content written for me. It's not content made for me. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to like not do everything all in. I can have a podcast about this stuff and not see every single thing that comes out on it. Right now I choose not to expose myself to it as a way of protecting myself and my energy and my heart. It's a tender time. I just had 3 years. This is a painful time for me already. I don't need more pain and shame thrown my way. So this is not going to be a reaction video to all that content. This is going to be what I've done in the past, me talking about my experience. And if you're interested in hearing the perspective of a survivor in terms of estrangement, this episode is for you. If you are looking for more of what that content has to offer, not only that content, but more of it is out there. And you probably can skip this episode at this point, unless you're interested in my perspective. And if so, welcome. And for those of you that remain still here, you can at this point sit back, pick your beverage of choice, and let's dive into this a little bit gently and see where it takes us. I will say, in response to the stuff that has been circulating out there, is estrangement is not a trend, it is a journey. It's a journey, and a painful one, by the way. I can't control other people, and I cannot control what they create and what people consume, but I can control myself, and I choose to create content to cater people like me. And that's what this episode is going to be. If you are estranged like me, I do invite you to write I am estranged too in the comments section. I know I'm not the only person who's going through this, and I know there are a lot of us who are navigating the vast and deep, painful waters of estrangement. About estrangement, it can happen in all types of relationships. It tends to be more of a topic when it comes to the family realm, but let's face it, it can be your actual family, it can be chosen family, long-term friendship, romantic partner, a group that has been substantial for you, and now you can't talk to any of these people. That's estrangement. About estrangement, it's not new. This has been happening probably for as long as human beings have existed. I actually grew up with a lot of estrangement being modeled. A lot of the adults in my life had estrangement going on left and right with different people and for different periods of time. So it was not an uncommon thing for me to like see someone that was always around just disappear. And sometimes it would be for a few months, and sometimes it would be like years. And in some cases, I never saw them again. People would disappear, and sometimes nobody talked about it. It was like a lot of Houdinis just pulling the magic act of vanishing into thin air. And then if they would come up, it would either be to speak of them very poorly and like drag them through the mud. And sometimes it would be this thing where like some people would talk about them, but they would be very careful to say, like, make sure you don't talk to so and so about it or don't mention it around them. But by the way, this is what's happening, sort of, kind of. There was a lot of that. And I never thought I would be engaging in estrangement. I never thought in a million years that I would be cutting off the people that I thought were my people, you know? But it was one of those things that like it almost followed me, and it didn't go anywhere until it was undeniable that it was the only choice I had left. If you can even call it a choice. I have forgiven so many things in the past, but when things are not changing, the hurt continues and it gets worse. There is a point where forgiving is not only not an option anymore, but not something that can even lead to surviving what's happening around you. And I want to add that estrangement to me, it's almost like it can be on a continuum. Doesn't have to be like an all or nothing. You can be estranged from someone and like you're not talking constantly, you don't know what's happening in each other's lives, but from time to time you might run into each other or circumstances force you to be in the same room and you can kind of say hi and bye. Even though I didn't see it as estrangement when I started this one that I'm thinking about. Now looking back, it was definitely estrangement. And the fact that we had some communication here and there doesn't negate that the estrangement really was what became the thing and the dynamic. The first estrangement that I'm thinking about that I'm referencing already is the one that happened when I was around 19 years old. So this one has been going on for 18 years now. Wild to even say that out loud. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this person didn't think I would ever be estranged from them. I will say our relationship was so volatile and it was just things were not getting better. Things were getting worse every time we interacted. And this person just crossed a line. There was a line, and it's really interesting because it wasn't the only physical assault, but it was the one that really did it. Like that last straw that broke the camel's back. And it was also the day that I almost died. And thinking back, even the concept of not talking to that person wasn't very supported around our system. I was still expected to call them on their birthday, send them something on their birthday. I was given updates about them all the time. I was forced to talk to them on the phone. I was encouraged to go visit them. And one time I got tricked. I got invited over. I had everything purchased, like flight, the plans for the trip and everything. And like a week before, I got told, oh, by the way, so and so is living with us here. So they will be here when you're visiting. Yes, that did happen. And yes, these people were very fully aware that this person had severely abused me. And that did not matter. And I still went. I still went. And with someone that was with me, which now I'm like, how did I? I should have canceled. I should have canceled, but I didn't know anything about this stuff. Still stuck in feeling like I had no other choices. And yeah, that was the last time I actually saw all three of the main abusers. And this was years ago now at this point. Then I want to say, because I historically speaking have ended up in relationships with people that are similar to my abusers, there's a lot of other estrangement going on for me in terms of when something ends, like a friendship or a relationship, it tends to end and like that's it. Like we're not staying in touch. Nobody is calling each other or messaging. There are very few people that I've been able to keep in touch. And even the ones I feel like throughout the years something happens and then like the no contact goes in place. And let me tell you, I don't know how I made it this far without either being killed or witnessing somebody being murdered in front of me, because let me tell you, close call doesn't even begin to cut it. And it was multiple times that it almost happened. So then the big estrangement happened a little bit over 3 years ago. So basically what happened was I took the time off that I had over Thanksgiving weekend and I decided to watch this workshop by Patrick T. Hannon. It's the one about navigating the family cutoff. And I will say, even if your abuser is not a family member, it's so helpful because at the end of the day, if you switch the word for abuser, everything still applies. And I found it extremely helpful for myself. And let me tell you, I will never forget this slide. There were a few slides. There were two in particular. There was one slide where there's like a pool and this life like floaty device on the pool. And Patrick was talking about how like it's really hard to heal from the chemicals that are in the pool if you keep swimming in the pool. This pool is full of toxins and things that are harmful, and you want to get your skin and your body better. You need to get out of the pool to be able to heal and get some momentum going. And so your antibiotics can start working and the medications that the doctors are giving you. And I remember just being like, oh. Was felt like, okay, that's why that tracks, because at the time I had spent months doing therapy, being in support groups, working so fucking hard. And I would make progress and then I would call them for 10 minutes once a week. And all the progress I had made back. And then I would start recovering from that 10-minute call and do the work and start to feel better. Okay, here we go. I'm starting to feel like I did 2 weeks ago. Great. And then another call would happen and I was back. Not only 10, but now 15 steps. And I kept doing that for months and months and months. And then there was another slide where it had like, it was like a diagram and it basically was like kind of like a choose your own destiny thing. So it was like, okay, you're here. Did you try this? Then if so, you can go here. And if you haven't, then try this thing. And it would kind of like guide you. And eventually, like you keep going and you get to either low contact might be best, no contact might be recommended, or I forget what the other options were. But those were like the two mains that I was kind of vacillating between. And I got to the no contact. And I realized with that slide how much I had tried already because I feel like I was stuck in this. Did I try enough? Maybe I should try contacting them and like telling them what's going on, or I should try this, or I should try that. And did I say that like explicitly? I don't know, maybe. And then I saw that slide and I was like, okay, I did try that. I also tried that. That didn't work when I tried it the first 100 times. And it was just one of those things where like I realized, oh my, I have been trying for years. This is not months now. Like all these things have happened throughout the years and nothing changed. Nothing. Estrangement is painful, confusing, terrifying. Think of the worst choice possible and the scariest. That's estrangement. This is not easy. This is not trendy. This is not like whatever. It takes a lot to get there. And estrangement is not the only option. There's many options out there and things that work differently for different people. This video is definitely not this is the only choice that you have. It's a video about how when this happens is because it was the only choice left. And let me tell you, the 3 years that I've spent no contact so far have not been a joyride. They have done everything they can to get me back into the fold. They have recruited people to send cryptic messages and emails, trick me into picking up gifts they send. Let me tell you, they've tried it and they're still trying, probably as I speak right now. And the painful part about it is that you choose the thing that is the most painful and the hardest. And it's not only the hardest thing to do, but it's the hardest thing to maintain. Because I'm not only dealing with their flying monkeys, I'm not only dealing with their messages, I am not dealing with the fact that they keep finding ways to try to hijack the blocking that I've done. I'm also getting shamed by strangers, people that do not know me. They have no idea what I survived. They have no idea what these people have done to me. They don't give a damn about what happened to me. They don't take a moment to consider for a second what happened to this person that they made this decision, this painful decision. I wonder what happened. None of that is happening, right? Strangers that have no idea out there creating content, shaming people like me. Talk about hard to maintain. It feels impossible to maintain. After I went no contact, it wasn't immediate. It's taken this whole time so far, and it will take the rest of the time that it takes. One of the things that I have been realizing slowly is the fact that I wasn't living before. Not fully, not my own life, not a life as myself. I was living this life almost like at a bare minimum, where everything that was prioritized was surviving and everything that was deprioritized was myself. I feel like I almost lived most of my life just letting it pass me by, just feeling disassociated and like not there and just in my head, just doing whatever it took to get through the day as opposed to actually living through the day. And the thing with going no contact was that it freed up some space for me to actually find out who the fuck I am. How do I like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay. I felt it. I felt it. Inner critic, go away. Go away. What do I like? What am I attracted to? What do I like wearing? Which, by the way, I'm still figuring that out. How do I like to wear my hair? Also trying to figure that out. What is the essence of me? What are my values? What makes me feel good? What do I feel good saying, doing? How do I show up in a way that feels good for me, authentic to me? All these things. I'm finally finding them out now. And before the no contact, I couldn't even get there because I was so enmeshed and so involved in surviving these people and creating a way to protect myself as best as I could, because the moment you talk to them, it's just like you get hit with a wave of toxins that literally just throws you out into the sea. And I didn't realize how much energy and how much bandwidth it took to have these people in my life. How much hiding of myself was going on unconsciously. I've talked about this. I didn't know. Didn't know I was queer. I didn't know, but I knew. Like a part of me knew, but I couldn't let myself accept it and like see it and take it in, because being queer would have not flown here. And in order to stay in relationship with them, I couldn't be me. I couldn't be myself. I didn't realize how unsafe I was all the time. Just exposed to danger, to hurt, to humiliation, and just devaluation. I mean, ugh, to the point I'm still entangling it. This year, I dialogue with my inner kiddo. And for those of you that are new, dialoguing is a journaling technique. I use it as it is presented by the relationship recovery process therapy model that Amanda Curtin pioneered and that Patrick Tehan has made popular. And basically, the gist of it is you are writing as your inner adult with your dominant hand, and then you're replying as your inner kiddo with your non-dominant hand. And this stimulates both hemispheres of the brain, bilateral stimulation, and it kind of helps process things. Basically, I did the dialoguing, and the things that my inner kiddo noticed this year that we have gained, the things that she's noticed are happening in our life now, is how calm and peaceful things feel right now. This Thanksgiving weekend, I didn't spend it crying in a bathroom because my abuser couldn't take the holiday off from abusing me and verbally lashing me. I instead spend it here in my safe home that I've built for us. And my inner kiddo noticed there was no terror, no screaming, nothing breaking around us, no violence, no running, no fights, nobody getting hurt. And to take that in, that this, what I'm feeling now, is what actually is normal and what I should be feeling. The rage fights, that's what wasn't normal. I could tune it out. I could dissociate. I had it down to an art. I knew exactly what to do to get through it as best as I could. Usually it was freezing, getting the F out of there, or fawning. And you know how much effort and energy it takes to do all those things? You don't realize it until you don't do them anymore. That's the thing. I couldn't tell you how much bandwidth it was taking me before I went no contact. I couldn't tell you back when I was in it, getting exposed to these people every day. I couldn't get that awareness because it would have been devastating and it would have made the situation impossible to survive. My brain is genius. My inner kiddo is brilliant. That girl is incredible. She's incredible. Fucking saved my life. She saved our lives on her own. And no fucking help, by the way. And she deserves a good life. She deserves a peaceful life. She deserves a Thanksgiving where all she has to worry about is what she wants to eat for dinner and when she feels like walking outside, if she feels like walking outside, what music we would like to listen to as we're cooking, what show we would like to watch. And Stranger Things, fucking awesome timing. You made the holiday. Kept me busy, that's for sure. And here's the thing about the no contact. It started. I knew it. I knew it. Even though I do feel better and there was more peace and more calmness around me, the fear's still there. It's different though. It's like a different type of fear. It's almost like this memory of the fear, if that makes any sense. I want to transition into something that I'm very passionate about. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit scared to say it, but I feel like it needs to be said. There's one thing in particular, and something I have heard myself. I remember It took so much courage. I was so afraid, but I did open up to two people about what was happening. Actually, I opened up to a few people, but there were two people in particular that I opened up in this particular situation I'm thinking about. And I told them what had happened. They know the abusers and they actually are aware of how problematic their behavior can be. And I opened up about how things really were and the fact that I wasn't talking to them. And I remember one of them said, at first they started talking about some neighbor that just died of a heart attack before the age of 50. And it took me a second to realize where the hell this was going because it seems so random to me to like I just shared this and they're talking about this neighbor that just died. Like what does that have to do with this? And then it hit me. And I want to say it didn't hit me until I had already left and was about to merge into the highway. So like maybe like 5 minutes into the drive back. And I was like, oh, fuck. They were trying to get me to go, oh shit. I should not be going no contact with these people because I don't know how much time they have left. They could die any day now, and I don't want to regret it, right? Like that's what they were trying to nudge me into realizing. And I've been thinking about that lately because as the year mark hits, you kind of start getting the flashbacks of the things that have happened because of this. And of course that flashback came in and I was like thinking about it again. And then it hit me like, okay, let's play ball for a moment here. And let's use this you never know when someone's gonna die thing. And let's apply it. Let's use the thing they use against us and actually take it in and apply it the way that it should be applied. Okay? If we want to go by the logic of you don't know when someone is gonna die, okay? That means not only do I not know when they are gonna die, I don't know when I'm gonna die. Do you know when you're gonna die? Nobody knows. We don't know when any of us are gonna go. Okay? Stay with me. You're going to like this, especially if you're a survivor who has heard this BS thrown at you. If I'm going to go by the, I don't know when I'm going to die or anyone is going to die, then let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that this holiday season is my last one. I don't know what's going to happen to me. Maybe this is the last one for me. If I'm going to go with this logic, then do I want to spend my last holiday on earth alive getting abused by those three? That's how you want me to spend my last fucking holiday? No, thank you. I would love to spend my last holiday on this planet, whenever that last holiday is, and however many I have left. This is how I want to spend them. And this is how I deserve to spend them, by the way. I want to spend them in peace, healthy, being treated with respect, civility, kindness, and compassion. What none of those people fucking ever gave me. That's how I want to spend the rest of my days. Not only the holidays, the rest of my days. And guess what? That's my fucking right. I said it. I'm so done with people taking those fucking statements and twisting them to shame people like me. I would love to know if any of these people went back to them and asked them, why did you treat her like that? Why did you treat people like that? Why did you treat me like that? Because I know those people have been abused by them too. I would love to know. And I probably know the answer to that question. Since we're in the spirit of talking about lifespans, let's talk about the ACEs study. I mentioned the ACEs study in my article, Listening to My Screaming Body. This is the Adverse Childhood Experiences study. And basically, in a nutshell, what the ACEs study found is that people that had adverse childhood experiences, the more they had, the more the chances of developing all sorts of chronic illness and physical issues, and it impacts your lifespan. The more adverse childhood experiences, the bigger the chances that you probably will die earlier in life because you're just going to be so fucking sick that you probably will not live very long. And usually people stop talking about the ACEs study there, which is the scary part. It's terrifying. I fucking hate that. I hate that for me and for anyone who's ever been fucking abused. But here's the thing about the ACEs study that was also discovered. If you are able to work on the trauma If you're able to reduce the stressors, if you're able to reduce the abuse, break it down. Stop piling onto the mountain. That's literally killing you early. The chances of those illnesses and the extent of those illnesses start also coming down. So, in my case, I am increasing my lifespan. When you tell me you don't know when you're going to die, or you want to bring awareness to the death date, essentially, if I'm going to go by this, you're telling me that you prefer me die early and go back in there and get abused just because they happen to be older than me? That's not how death works. Last time I checked, death comes for anyone at any age and at any point in their time. The fact that they got a few years on me doesn't mean that they're going to go first. If I would have stayed in there at the rate that I was going, chances were they were going to bury me. I was the one who was going to probably go first. And we've seen this. How many abusers and horrible people live to like 100? They live forever. Let me tell you why. People, abusers that are externalizers, the ones that cannot take anything in, everything goes out to abuse other people to regulate themselves. And these are the abusers that I'm dealing with. These people, the externalizers, they tend to live longer because they're not stressed out. Every time they get stressed out, they vomit it out into somebody else. It increases their lifespan. And it decreases the lifespan of the poor people that are getting abused. That's how this shit works. Not all or nothing. Can abusers go early? Sure. It happens all the time. It's happened to some people. But if we want to go by the chances, by the statistics, by what the data's saying, the data says that somebody like me getting abused like that, my chances of living long are not good. Another reason why I left and another reason why I haven't gone back. I don't want to die early. I don't want to go tomorrow. I would love to have a long life, a good chunk of my life where I can say I've been peaceful. I just started. My life just started. I just started living not long ago. Finally getting in touch with myself. Finally living in a way that feels good to me. This just started. I literally feel like I was born again. And in many ways, for the first time in my life, I'm an internalizer. You know what that means? It means that anytime something happens, I don't vomit it out into other people. I internalize it. So that means I have a toxic inner critic wired into me that is constantly punishing me, criticizing me, and being hard on me like it is not hard on anyone else. I had to step away to stop the piling because my mountain of abuse is massive. Massive. The thing is, for me, as an internalizer, going no contact doesn't mean that snap fingers, I'm good. My boundaries are set and my chances of living a long life are yay high. It's going to take a lot of fucking time for my chances to reverse. I'm fully aware. I have seen improvement in my health, you fucking betcha. But I'm not out of the danger zone yet. And I know that. And part of it is these people were so skilled at abusing me that they hardwired an entity that now lives in me and my brain, and my trauma brain is in there all day long, working 24/7, takes no holidays off, the entire year around the clock. Even when I am sleeping, the nightmares I get sometimes would give Stephen King a run for his money. I have this inner toxic critic bullying me in my inner kiddo, and I'm still working on it. I'm making progress, but it's still there. I don't know that it will ever fully go away. The fucking thing. Doing the dirty work for my abusers. So even when I've gone no contact, the fuckers have found a way to still abuse me from afar. And it's so fucking unfair. I don't deserve this shit. I never did. But my chances are better if I can stop the abuse. And that's why I walked away. I want to call estrangement what it is. And recently I saw a post from Heal with Yesh, and I'm hopefully pronouncing that correctly. And in her post, Yesh called it not a trend, but survival. Take that in. I see estrangement as a way of protecting myself from abuse. It was my last resort. Nobody wants to do this. I didn't want to do this. I wish I didn't have to continue to choose no contact every fucking day. but I have to. It's not a I want to. It is a I have to. My choices are go back to get abused, get potentially murdered, or die young from worsening health conditions. We're talking about life or death here. Or choose yourself for once in your fucking life, Raysa, and get out and stay out. I want to recognize that I have a lot of privilege. Estrangement was available to me. Not everybody gets to have that last option. For many years, I didn't have the estrangement option available. I didn't even know it was a thing. Even though I knew people had done it, I didn't see it as an option for me. I grew up in Puerto Rico, where the rates of domestic violence and partner murders are staggering. I honestly don't keep in touch with what's going on in the island anymore. And it's a shame because it's a beautiful place. I grew up in one of the most beautiful places in the world. I know people go to visit it because it's so gorgeous, and it is. And yet, it's hard to keep track of a place that holds so much trauma. It's so triggering for me. And I hope to reclaim that. But back in the 90s, early 2000s, when I was growing up in the island, you saw and heard stories of people being killed by their partners because they were trying to leave or because there was a fight or they were jealous or whatever the heck. It was a lot of the most common scenario we would hear is men against women, but we know abuse happens in all genders. This doesn't discriminate, it doesn't matter who you are. And I remember one specific tragedy. It was one of the most disturbing tragedies that happened in PR at the time, and I want to say for many years, to the point where like one of the local filmmakers made a movie on it. It was a man who murdered his wife and all the children and then took his own life. And I will spare you how this happened, what he actually did, because it's heinous, it's monstrous. And it was a constant thing. You heard about it constantly. The violence in the island was just raging when I was growing up. And this woman tried to get out. There was a record of her trying to go to the police and trying to do the things to protect herself and her children. And the court system, the law enforcement system, failed her. And it makes me angry to hear people call something that can protect lives of women, of children, of people, of men, of anyone, of any gender, race, doesn't matter, humans. Something that can save a human's life. For people to call that a trend, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. It hurts. Estrangement saved my life, and it has saved so many lives, and it can save many more. What makes me sad and angry is that the more estrangement is shamed, the less people who actually need to use that option, people who might be saved by that option, won't have it available to them. Going back to those people I was talking about earlier, the two people that I told what was going on, and they were trying to tell me how, you never know when you're going to die. That same person who said that also when I was leaving, I remember they hugged me and they said, "I'm so sorry it was unhealthy." I remember I said thank you. I remember I left, and also I was already driving a few minutes in when it hit me. Unhealthy? Unhealthy is eating deep fried Oreos. This is not unhealthy. This is abuse. I was abused. This was not an unhealthy thing. The fuck's going on here? And that's what's going on. People keep calling it something else that makes it more comfortable and digestible. And you know what happens when you make something more digestible? People get hurt, really hurt. Let me tell you, this whole trend thing kind of brought up those feelings again of like, this is not unhealthy. This is abusive. This is not a trend. This is life-saving. This is protection. I'm not wearing the latest jean style. That's a trend. This estrangement, this has been the most impossible decision I have ever made in my entire life. Didn't feel like a decision. My abusers pushed me there. I was backed into a corner with nowhere else to go. Alone, without support, starting to see my life flash before my eyes. And I had two choices. I could either go back and let them end me, or escape. So I escaped. Not saying that they would purposely try to end me every single day, though if they were to try, I would not be shocked. But here's the thing. There's many ways you can end someone. You can end someone by being reckless, negligent, unable to look at your own behavior, and realize that you are deeply hurting someone. My abusers are people who turn into monsters with a snap of fingers. You can see the light go out of their eyes. And I have heard some people call some of them possessed. And for a long time, I feel like it was easier for me to like also get on board with that. Like, oh yeah, it's almost like something is possessing them, because it was easier to take in that this outside entity was really the one controlling them, when the truth was, it was them all along. The truth was that the rare outcome was when they were having a good day. That was the surprise, not when they were raging. And also, the thing is, if I'm honest with you, when they were in my life, I wasn't my best self. You know how like people can bring the worst out in you? That's what would happen. I would start snapping back and getting passive aggressive and throwing my dicks too back. And sure, I know reactive abuse is a thing, but let me tell you, I'm not proud of it. Even when it was reactive abuse, filled with shame about it, and I regret it to this fucking day, and I wish I could take it back. Do I wish I could take it back? Yeah, for the most part, even though these people, if you only knew. But yeah, still, I feel like there's no excuse for abuse, and that applies to me too. I definitely don't want to behave like that again. I don't want to be behaving like that all the time. And I am a better person because I walked away from these people. That's the truth. I am yet to meet or hear of a survivor who went no contact or is estranged for no reason. I will speak for myself here. I am estranged, not for one, not two. So many reasons. I lost count years before I sent that no contact letter. These people took my childhood, teenage years, arrested my development. I was their free therapy, emotional punching bag, physical punching bag. I couldn't develop. I couldn't be myself. I literally lived and existed to serve these people in whichever way they wanted and needed and felt like. They almost took it all. Almost. And no, I still don't want something bad to happen to them. I don't spend my days trying to make their lives a living hell and wishing ill upon them. Am I angry at them for what they did to me? You betcha, I am angry. And I wish they were not abused either. I wish they didn't act this way. I wish they were not like this. I am spending my days now trying to not let them take more than what they already took. I'm trying to stop them from making my life a living hell. I finally get to live. I finally get to be Raysa and find out more about Raysa for the first time in my life. I don't want anything fancy. I don't need a big house. I don't need a luxury car or the latest gadget. All I want is to live a life in peace, dignity, respect, and compassion. A quiet day is my dream. The more boring the day is, the better. I have been trying to find my person and the place where I belong for my entire life. And here's what I am learning. I am my own person. This is where I belong, right here. This feeling. My inner kiddo found her person. It's me. It's been me the entire time. Spoiler alert. No matter how many people leave, how many people we have to walk away from, my inner kiddo will not know the pain of seeing me walk away. I got this from a book written by John Bradshaw called Healing the Shame That Binds You. There's a visualization meditation in there. And it's basically you telling your inner kiddo and rescuing them and being their person and like connecting with them in a way where you let them know that people are going to come and go in our lives, but I'm always going to be there. Always. We'll never leave. And I am always going to love my inner kiddo no matter what. There's nothing she can do that will make me go away and leave her and abandon her and abuse her. Fuck no. I have arrived. I'm finally here. I'm learning. I'm still fucking up and I'm still working really hard to make it up to her. And I don't know how much time we have left. But here's what I know. I did not deserve to be abused. I did not deserve to be treated like that. It wasn't my fault. I'd rather live in peace for a season, for a day, for an hour, than to live a lifetime in hell. Getting ready for this episode, I feel like this year in particular, there was a lot of numb feelings. This year as the third mark hit, I feel like this wave of numbness just hit me, and I couldn't get in touch with the feelings for a bit there. And even getting ready for today, I didn't sleep well last night. My inner kiddo was definitely up and running, and like I could feel the thing. And this morning when I woke up, I felt this haze and this just wave of numbness come over me, which is really interesting because yesterday when I was working on the outline for the episode, I was wired up, angry, and like I'm saying it. I was feeling it. I was like, fuck it. And then this morning came and I was just like, I almost feel like I I didn't actually wake up and I'm just in a dream right now. But as I have come on here, I try to be as gentle as I could on myself today. And the plan is to be gentle for the rest of the day. I feel a little bit in touch with the feelings. I'm surprised I didn't cry more. Interesting. Interesting. I was crying yesterday when I was typing it up. That's how these things go, right? So, as I wrap up this reflection, I will say that when I wrote this on the script outline, I typed it and then I was like, do I actually believe this? And even as I'm about to say it, and I'm still feeling like I can feel the inner critic just like popping up, being like, do you actually believe that shit? And I want to say I do. I do. I do, despite all the voices and all the things inside my brain right now and all the things that have happened to me. I am proud. I am proud of the person that I am and the person that I am becoming, the person that I am growing to become. I'm proud of Raysa. That, no doubt, is me. It's like I see her as a separate entity. I'm so proud of that little girl. Dang, the odds were so against us, not in our favor. It's like Katniss Everdeen from District 12. Like every fucking odd was just not looking good. And somehow she made it. She made it. Survive these people. I don't want her survival. It will be for nothing. I know, I'm very aware of the happy endings and the end credits rolling in. Whatever color I choose is just not how this thing is going to go. I don't know when it's happening, how it's happening, and I don't know a lot of things, really. But what I know is this. I know she deserves so much better. I deserve so much better. We do. I know that survivors deserve better. We have gone through so fucking much. And what we do not need is for people to minimize, invalidate, and shame not only what happened to us, but the decisions we are making to protect ourselves in the best way that we can. I am aware that the people listening to this are probably not the people who are shaming us, but in spirit of saying it, in case it ever reaches anyone who is, really think about the impact that your words can have on someone. And really take a moment to reflect and like take in that you don't know. You don't know what happened. You were not there. And even for people who are there, everyone processes things differently. What's traumatic for some people is not for others. Please have some compassion. Please have awareness of the damage you can do, because sometimes the intention is not the end result. You can hurt someone even when you have good intentions. Please be careful. Survivors do not deserve to be judged. We don't deserve to be under the microscope. You know who does? Abusers. Those are the people you should be focusing on. Those are the people who should be under the microscope getting all the questions, not us. In this week's healing invitation, I want to offer you a few things to reflect about. What does estrangement mean to you? If you are estranged, how has your life been shaped by that decision? How do you treat someone who is estranged? Sometimes we do not know how to react or what to say. I do invite you to show compassion towards people who are estranged. You don't have to understand why. Saying, I support you, I believe you, can make a huge difference. If you have been feeling the weight of recent content on estrangement, I hope this episode helps you feel a little less alone. Please let me know in the comments how this episode's healing invitation goes if you choose to accept it. Before we wrap up this episode, all music and production is courtesy of yours truly. And I'd love to share a few ways you can support this podcast. You can subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you're listening. Share this episode with anyone you think might find it helpful. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Hello Trauma Brain. Subscribe to the Hello Trauma Brain YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when a new episode goes live. And if you like, you can also make a donation via PayPal. Thank you in advance for your support. Even a little goes a long way in helping this podcast reach other survivors who might benefit from finding this content. No worries. Links to everything will be in the show notes. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this episode helpful. I wish you so much compassion and gentleness, especially if you're navigating estrangement as we enter the holiday season. It is time for our farewell affirmations, and I invite you to repeat after me. I welcome the belief that I am enough. I am lovable. And I deserve to heal. If you're watching on YouTube, you will see links on the screen shortly that you can click to check out more episodes and subscribe. I wish you a gentle rest of your day. Thank you for your presence, and I will see you next time.